It is a really nice day. It's a bit scorching, but it's really nice. I like my sun hot. Anyways, today I want to talk to you about how to structure your workout. Obviously, the easy way to get about it is it depends on your goals. But I want to be more specific. I want to get into what depends on your goals mean in a minute. There are some basic principles that you need to keep in mind. You need to know that after some time, whatever workout plan you have, your body gets used to the exercises and you kind of feel your body fatigued. Your nervous system is not really taking anything out of the exercise anymore. So that's roughly after 9 weeks. Whenever you're making a workout plan, you need to make sure that you're hitting all muscle positions, deep positions, shallow positions. That also includes adding some fast twitching elements. In case of legs, for example, you need some plyometrics, some acceleration, deceleration sort of exercise. If you're doing something for the shoulders, you need to have it controlled, but you also need some explosive elements. So say you're doing an overhead press sort of exercise like handstand push-ups or actual overhead presses. You need to be explosive on the way up and then very controlled on the way down. When I say you need to hit all muscle positions, it includes this as well. One other principle that you need to really pay attention to is knowing how to take rest. Whatever you do, you need to let your nervous system adapt to what you've introduced to it. You can't do that unless you actually take some time off this certain exercise. So let's say you want to learn handstands. If you do handstands every day and you don't actually have a good handstand, you're not letting your nervous system get used to what handstands are. One last thing I want to mention is you need some rehab elements in your workout plan. So let's say you don't have any injuries, but still you need some rehab or prehab if you want to say. Doing rehab specific exercises would make it less likely for the muscle to get injured because you're targeting all the weird positions that the muscle might get into, even though you don't necessarily hit these positions, but you're still targeting them so that if something happens, it's not as bad as you think. Obviously, you could do this on your rest days, for instance, or because I just mentioned that you need rest, or you could add it maybe before you work out and you warm up. Now it's time to mention workout plans that you could, or routines that you could incorporate in your life. And I'm gonna be breaking them into these main principles that I just mentioned. Let's say doing a push-pull leg split. So I typically would like to hit each muscle group 2 times a week, but still I want to do a push-pull leg split. If my goal is to, let's say, hit the planche, I obviously have to have a planche directed exercises, but I also need to have some general strength exercises. So let's say if my goal is to hit planches, I will split my routine in the following sense. I would have 2 push days, I would have one day that would have dips, I would have handstand push-ups, I would have overhead presses maybe, I would have ring supports, and then the other push day I would just do a specific planche, maybe planches, some variations of planches, and then some complementary exercises. This way I'm hitting every muscle group 2 times, and at the same time I'm hitting my goals. Obviously, if your goal, for instance, is not to hit planches, if your goal is to push more weight on the bench press, then you obviously need to have this on one of the days, but you also need some of the other complementary exercise for bench press. Let's say you need to have some sort of bench flies or something like that. Let's say I still have my goal as the planche, but I could do an upper lower split, and that would be more like for the if you have less time. You could have 2 or 3 even upper body days, and then 2 leg days, and then 1 rest day, and then have some core day in between. You could also add a core day on your rest day, and then you can do some rehab on core as well, even though I do core on each of these days, but you definitely need some core specific days. Now for the upper lower split, still my goal is to hit planche. Let's say I do a day where I do all the strength and complementary exercises, and then the other day I would hit the planche specific exercise. The third upper body day I would make it a bit more focused towards the pull exercises so that I give some time for the push muscles to rest a bit. And then for the leg days, I would have a heavy leg day and then kind of still a leg day, but it's more chill. It's more like I'm going through the motion rather than I'm actually going to failure. You don't need to go to failure on each and every day. And then you could have a full body split. So they'd say you'd have 3 days a week and then you separate them. Let's say you do Sunday, take Monday to be a core day, Tuesday, and then maybe take Wednesday as a rehab day, have them separated by 2 days, and then take Thursday as the third full body day, and then take Friday off, and then start a cycle back again on Saturday. Or if you're too tired, you could push it till Sunday again. Full body days are more like if you really short in time and you don't want to work out every single day. There's also a method called greasing the groove. This will not trump your workout days. You'll be doing whatever split you're doing, let's say push pull leg, upper lower, or full body days. You want to target planches. You're not going to do planches on these days. What you'll be doing is you're going to pick a variation of planche that you're comfortable doing, not very comfortable, challenging enough but also not very challenging. Like maybe you'd say you can hit tug planche for 10 seconds. So you'd hold this like 7 seconds, and then 2 hours later come back and do it, and then until you hit like 6, 7, 8 sets a day, you're not going to failure, but at the same time you're challenging yourself throughout the day. Greasing a groove, basically what it does, it teaches your nervous system to incorporate more muscles through interacting with it with more neurons. Sometimes you create more neurons to the muscle and it's more efficient. You get to engage more muscle, more surface area of a muscle, if that makes sense, across multiple layers. These are different examples of how you could structure your workout. You'd have to sit down and think, what do I want to do? Once you figured out what you want to do, you'd have your workout slightly biased towards that goal. You would still have to think, but I need to hit all muscle positions. If I want to push more on the bench press, okay, I'm going to have my workout slightly push biased, but at the same time, you need to hit like a deep dip position. You need some sort of flies. And then you also need to incorporate the rehab. Recap, if I want to hit higher bench press, I would still make it more push focused, but I would incorporate rehab, weird muscle positions, and don't forget the rests.